Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cyrus. This is Tuntun Network in Accra, Ghana. Be sure to subscribe and click on the bell for more of my videos if today is your first time. Now, I thought the three Sahel soldiers and leaders of the three Sahel countries were the boldest in the world in 2025 until they just doubled down on their mission by doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger just announced they will no longer be a part of the International Criminal Court, the ICC, in The Hague, in the Netherlands. They are withdrawing their membership from the ICC, ladies and gentlemen. And even though there are conditions involved when a member country chooses to withdraw their membership, they are taking all their chances. And their stated reasons are as follows, ladies and gentlemen. They say the ICC has become a neo-colonial instrument of repression. I'm quoting them. It practices selective justice. It prosecutes some actors and ignores others. And so their withdrawal is part of protecting their sovereignty and using more indigenous mechanisms for their peace and justice. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sahel region is choosing a different path towards ensuring their own peace and security and accountability from their own leadership. Now, the process will take up to 1 year to be fully withdrawn. And if in that time frame there is a criminal case already under ICC investigation or occurred before the withdrawal, the ICC may choose to proceed. However, when the Sahel states complete the processes by next year, they will join Burundi as the only countries to completely withdraw from the ICC. At some point in 2016, I remember, South Africa and the Gambia announced their withdrawals and later reversed it. And so we wait to see how these three Sahel regions will conclude theirs. The reasons provided by South Africa and the Gambia were similar to the Sahel leaders' reasons. They accuse the ICC of double standards, saying it has focused mostly on African cases while ignoring crimes committed by powerful countries. That was the accusation by South Africa and the Gambia at the ICC. This is their charge against the International Court. And so I decided to do my research into the cases taken to the ICC since 2010. Remember, the ICC was established in 1998 by the Rome Statute, but it was until July 1st, 2002 when it was ratified, as in the requisite number of 60 countries first agreed to become members. That's when it became functional, ladies and gentlemen. So I did my research into the allegations by many African leaders at the ICC, and ladies and gentlemen, there is substance in the accusations by the African leaders. Check these out, ladies and gentlemen. In the last 15 years, from 2010 to 2025, approximately 32 cases have been brought before the International Criminal Court. Out of the 32 cases, 30 of them involved African countries, either through location of crime, as in Africa, or nationality of suspects. And according to sources, the 30 cases which involves African countries involves individuals from the Central African Republic, Ivory Coast, Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Libya, Mali, and Uganda. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is a legit reason for why any African country may choose to leave the ICC. But there is a very important question to ask. What does it mean for the Sahel region to withdraw from the ICC, or for any country to withdraw from the ICC? That is a very important question to ask, ladies and gentlemen. Is it going to be useful for their cause? Is it something other African countries should explore? Or is it a move that can have serious consequences on their international political and economic relationships, ladies and gentlemen? And I want you to join me to dissect them. Let's get into it.
What if one platform could connect Africa's brightest ideas with the global African diaspora? Welcome to AfricaFounder.com, the crowdfunding platform where African changemakers and diaspora supporters unite. Start a project, donate to causes that matter, earn as an affiliate, support as a consultant. From London to Kigali, the diaspora is coming home through AfricaFounder.com. Visit AfricaFounder.com today. Let's fund Africa's future together.
When you withdraw from the ICC, ladies and gentlemen, here are some of the challenges you are bound to encounter. Immediately after your withdrawal, many international member countries may perceive you as rejecting international justice, ladies and gentlemen, meaning they cannot guarantee their dealings with a non-member country should there be an issue that may require a court settlement. This may also attract negative attention from human rights groups, especially those that are associated with the United Nations. Now, that's the challenge on the international front. But when it comes to the domestic front, victims and civil society groups may see withdrawal as shielding leaders or soldiers from accountability. Victims of war crimes, crime against humanity, or genocide in that country become difficult to prosecute, ladies and gentlemen. This is a real challenge. And in terms of internal politics, opposition parties or activists may accuse leaders of withdrawal from the ICC to protect themselves from prosecution. In some cases, armed groups or state forces may feel emboldened when they know they won't face an ICC. So then, ladies and gentlemen, the challenges that comes with sometimes losing international partnerships and cooperations are real, just so you know. The challenges are real just as the protection of a country's sovereignty is also a priority for individual countries. So, when you choose to walk out on the ICC, the rest is on you. Therefore, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger's exit is going to be a real experiment for the rest of African countries which feel unsatisfied with the ICC and may be courting the intention of leaving. The three Sahel nations have become pacesetters in three different areas in Africa. They first walked out on ECOWAS and formed their own alliance. Then they walked out on the West and aligned with Russia. They abandoned the G5 Sahel, which included all the three countries plus Mauritania and Chad. Then they dismembered themselves from the organization International de la Francophone, which was a group for all Francophone countries and France. It is like the Commonwealth version for the French countries in Africa. And now they are walking away from the International Criminal Court. Ladies and gentlemen, these three nations could one day even walk away from AU if they perceive the union isn't beneficial to their cause. They may even walk out on UN one day, ladies and gentlemen. At this point, they've determined for themselves what's in their interest and what's not. And they are willing to go to any extent to make their stand known. Ladies and gentlemen, trust me, many African countries, especially military heads, are watching. And it has started already. There will come a time in Africa where half of the nation's heads of states will be military rulers, judging by the level of poverty, corruption, and insecurity going on in Africa. Already, we have 5 current military leaders as heads of state in Africa in 2025. The rest are watching if these politicians won't get their acts together. There are reports by the IMF and the Africa Report Online, the news portal, that suggests there is a risk that coups or coup attempts in Africa will continue even into 2026, especially in Western and Central Africa, based on the fragility of the security of those countries. The fragility as a result of poverty, weak institutions, weak governance, and security threats. Ladies and gentlemen, when the people cannot guarantee their security and also cannot get food to eat because of bad government policies and corruption, the people will turn on their government eventually. This is what's going to happen through the military ranks in many African countries. Eventually, they will take matters into their hands, ladies and gentlemen. And in conclusion, the Sahel states have proven so far to be unafraid to undertake the most difficult decisions, which many African countries cannot, when they see the need for it, ladies and gentlemen. And their exit from the ICC, when it's successful and bears result, believe me or not, will trigger other countries to do same. It's only a matter of time. Thanks for watching this one, and see you in the next one. Be sure to subscribe and click on the bell for more of my videos. I'm Cyrus. This is Tuntum Network in Accra, Ghana. It is bye-bye for now.